When I arrived in Galicia, I didn't plan to stay where I landed. I wanted to move to La Coruña because I fell in love with it. But because of life circumstances, sometimes those plans don't work out. And now, well, I ended up living alone and I'm not going to move. So I want to make my home a little cozier for myself. Hi everyone, how are you? And welcome back to my channel. In case you don't know me, I'm Anita Mateo, a Cuban woman who has been living in Galicia for 2 years now, and I share a little more about my life, my experiences here, living in Galicia and being Cuban. If you're new here, I invite you to subscribe, give it a like and all that because you're going to like this channel, and every Friday we have new videos. Your support is very important so that this channel, if it entertains you, if you like it, if you like me, well, why not give it a like? Phoebe says so, give it a like or she's gonna bite you, okay? In today's video, we'll spend a day together as I tackle things I need to do and try new experiences in Cuba. Or things that really surprise me about my life in Spain or about living in Spain in general. Look, I'm going to tell you something. Ever since I moved into this house, I've been the worst decorator in the world, I've already said it. And since I moved into this house, I haven't made many changes to it. Because honestly, I don't like to fill the house with decorations or clutter it with things. Because I always planned to move. I wanted to move to the city because I live in a small town, and since I was planning to move, well, I used to say I wasn't going to buy so many things because the day I move, moving out would be a little complicated. But in the end, you always end up buying those things because you get settled in and they're things you need. And well, I bought something that I had wanted for a long time. Come, I'll show it to you. I got a new sofa. If you've watched my older videos, you might remember I had a different one that came with the house. I bought this one at IKEA during Black Friday sales. That's it. I love seeing this little blanket. It's there because Fiddy lies in that spot, but it's really nice. I love my new sofa, but now I feel like there's a space here. Look, a space that's way too empty and I want to decorate it a little bit. That's because my living room looks really empty. I mean, it's like there's nothing here, and I like minimalist things, like not having too much stuff, but not like this either. Today we're going shopping to see what I can do, what I find in the store that works for me to put there. So, I put the previous sofa here in this room, which is now the second bedroom. As you can see, this is the previous sofa. I don't like it. The sofa came with the house, but it's just not my style. And well, the video. Basically, you're going to be joining me as I look for and figure out how I feel in that space because I don't like that space if it's empty. So I told my friend Taimi to go to IKEA together. And we're going to go to IKEA to look around. Because IKEA is a pretty affordable place for this kind of home stuff for decorating and things like that. And we're going to IKEA and also checking out the deals, seeing things that surprise me about capitalism because now there are Black Friday sales and all that. And the stores get packed with stuff, packed with people. It's incredible. And then when we come back, we're going to decorate that little spot there. And I don't know, I just want to change the house a little bit. But first of all, we're going to have breakfast. That's it. I'm dressed, as you can see from my outfit today. It's so nice to go out for breakfast with my friend because yes, I love going out for breakfast. There's also a place I really like here in town and it's super cheap and they give you these big toasts. So that's my favorite place to go for breakfast. So come with me. I mean, one of the advantages of living in a small town is the places to eat, and they're much cheaper than in the city. I love eating here in town, and besides, the food is delicious. I feel like it has amazing quality. Sometimes in the city, the quality is amazing too, but when you go to a small town, they make things more natural, more traditional, and so on. I really like it. Let's go. I need to take Phoebe out for her walk. She's waiting for me. She did all her business. Now you behave very well, behave very well. Oh, she is so good. She is the best person in the world. Another thing I have to go do, and I've never done this before in my life, it's that my computer mouse broke, but since the computer has a warranty, I think it was for 2 or 3 years. I'm unsure, so I'll bring the papers they gave me and see if they can fix the mouse. Now we came here for a moment to pick up mail. A lot of people from Cuba ask me how to send things to Cuba. And there is the option, I don't know if you know, to send things through the mail. The regular mail from Spain. It often takes a while, but it's much more affordable than sending it with someone or shipping a suitcase. The downside is it can take a month or longer. But here at the post office, which you can find everywhere in Spain, you can also send things to Cuba, just so you know, because a lot of people ask me. Well, I'm looking for a little table like this to put in that corner. Look, something like this, it's cool. I want it to be white and to put some little plants on it. Let's see what we can find that matches. There are more here. I want something like this, small, but maybe a little taller. I've come here a lot and made plans, and honestly, being here gives me a bit of a headache because you kind of get lost here. The store is designed so that you walk through the whole place and see a lot of things. I don't know about you, but for me, coming to stores is like therapy. I love it, even if I don't buy, just browsing. Today I'm taking care of all the things I've been putting off for a long time because I haven't left my house to run errands in about 2 weeks. Well, honestly, the lighting is terrible. I didn't get here at night. It's super late and well, I think I'll continue tomorrow. I haven't eaten, I haven't showered, I'm all sweaty because it was hot today. It's weird, winter is a bit strange, I don't know what's going on. Well, maybe it's climate change or something, but it's not as cold as when I first got here. At first I felt really cold here, but now I don't feel that cold. I'm not even wearing a heavy coat, just a little jacket, so I bought a few things there. Don't look at it, I'll show it to you tomorrow to decorate this place, because look, just look at this, it's so empty. There's a space there where I could almost build a room, put up a wall here and make another room. So I bought this plant, which is this poinsettia, I think it's called, that they always sell everywhere at this time of year. They say it brings you good luck, so I bought it because we're going to put it there. I'm into real plants, I don't like fake plants. I'd rather put a decoration or something artistic. I hope nothing goes wrong with this one. I'll try to water it. It's tricky in these houses with wooden floors and everything made of wood. Since this is going to have plants, maybe because water can damage the wood, but well, I also hope nothing happens. I bought a little lamp that's super cute. Well, I'm going to show it to you along with its bulbs. And here is the little table, which is a pretty simple table. Let's put it together. Since I arrived in Spain, I never planned to stay in this apartment for so long. What happened is that I came to this apartment. It was the first one we found and where they accepted us because remember we came from Cuba without any papers. And well, in the end, this is a small town. And I didn't want to stay living in a small town. If I came to Spain, I wanted to discover more things, not just stay in a place that was a small town. Although I have to say that Carvalho isn't really a small town, it's actually pretty big and you can find everything here. But I discovered that over time, just like the advantages of staying here. For now. Anita could look for some scissors and make it easier, yes, but Anita is just the way she is. Okay, the wind. Now it's bad and good, honestly. I arrived and said I'd be here for a while. As you know, I came without papers and spent a whole year without my daughter. And well, I couldn't move because I wouldn't be able to get a contract or I wouldn't be able to have, legal documents because here in Spain they ask for a lot of things for you to move into an apartment. So obviously for a whole year I wasn't going to be able to move from here for those reasons and I had to keep this apartment, which was the only one. He accepted my conditions, but as I said, I had to pay 6 months in advance for them to accept me. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been possible. I know it's illegal and not allowed, but I had to do it for them to accept me. So, I always said when I complete a year or when I get my legal status here in Spain, when I have all my papers, I was going to move. And for a long time, I was looking for apartments on Idealista and on those kinds of websites. Okay, let's see how I do this. I assembled the sofa, so I should handle a simple table, if Phoebe lets me. So, little by little, I also started to realize the advantages I had living in a small town, because as I already told you, and as you already know, after a year I got my papers. But then, after a few months, I ended up living alone in this apartment. And here in Spain, it's practically impossible to live alone and pay for an apartment in a city with a normal salary. Let me read the instructions for a moment. Honestly, this is a piece of cake compared to the sofa. It's just setting the table like this and starting to put in the screws. Give me a minute to assemble it. I need to concentrate and can't talk at the same time. Honestly, this little table was a piece of cake and I love it because it's even the same color as the sofa. Wow, it's simple, but it's pretty. Now let's put back the other little things. Now let's assemble the lamp. First, let's take a look at it. I loved how it looked in the store and our plant is going to go here. Well, so, as I was saying, many of my plans, like moving to the Coruña store, were frustrated because I can't afford an apartment in La Coruña by myself. The apartments have gone up a lot, especially in the cities, even here in the village where I live. People used to tell me that apartments were much cheaper, like 200 or 300 euros a month, and now they're between 400 and 500 euros a month a box. So, as you know, I ended up living alone, but I still had it in my mind to move to La Coruña at some point, but what's going on? A lot of people, if you want to live in the city, there are so many people who come straight here, for example, people I know who come straight from Cuba. Ultimately, they have to share an apartment since living alone isn't possible. I'm telling you, it's impossible to afford an apartment in a city on one salary. Rent takes up your whole paycheck. So, it's really necessary for there to be 2 or 3 people, or the other option is to share an apartment. So if I wanted to move to La Coruña to live, which was my plan, what I wanted to do, since there are many more opportunities, in the end I would probably have to share an apartment. And I'm telling you, after you've lived alone, after you've experienced the freedom of being by yourself, having things the way you like and living your life your way, It's a bit hard to share an apartment again. So I thought about it and I said, since I can work from wherever I want. Up until now, my job allows me to do that, thank God. We should appreciate what we have and accept we can't do everything. I've only been here 2 years, and if I want to live in a city, I'll work for it. But right now, I have to admit that I couldn't move to the city. And so since I always had that mindset and that plan to leave this apartment, maybe I never really saw it as permanent. That's why I always say that I'm bad at decorating and those things, because I didn't see this apartment as something long-term. And that's why I never decorated it, never remodeled it, never made it into the kind of home I wanted to have, and I didn't even buy a sofa. I didn't buy anything because I kept saying, no, when I move I'll have it, because I'll be packing a lot of things and it's going to be very uncomfortable. It's just that when I move, and all the time I was thinking about that, about when I would move, and well, in the end, it turns out that for now, honestly, I can't move. And so I said, well, a new year is about to start. And this apartment is literally just like I found it when I arrived, the same, exactly. Some things I have bought myself, obviously, but almost all the decoration is what the landlord put here. I didn't move anything because I planned to move out and thought 2 years living like this? I don't know. I should feel like I'm not going to move for now and I'm going to stay here. I should make it feel a little cozier, a little more like my home, so I can feel a little better too. I started thinking about those things right at the end of the year because a new year was about to start, and you start thinking about the things you've done this year and all that. I don't know if that happens to you. And I said, well, yes, let's make this apartment a little nicer so I can feel a bit more at home, you know? In the end, this is where I spend my time, my home, even if it's not truly mine. I pay for it, and like I said, I don't mind living in a small town. I love it. Over time, I've grown really fond of it. There are a lot of advantages to living in a small town, and that's exactly it. I'll try the little lamp since I think there's an outlet back there. And well, this is how my new little corner turned out. I love it with the little Christmas flower here, a small chalkboard with the things I have to do for the week that I plan out, and my YouTube plaque over here. The new sofa looks really nice. And what if we turn off the light? A warm light at night makes it look cozier because actually they say that at night you should have warm lights so you can sleep better. I don't know about you, but I love it. And now at least it doesn't look like everything. Let's see. You can see this empty space, which I don't really mind either, but now it doesn't look so plain. Just the sofa. Now you can see the little table, and I really like how it looks. One advantage of living in a small town is the cheaper rent. It's more feasible for me. Getting my license, that's what I always say, right? I still haven't gotten my license yet, but it's a goal I'm going to set for myself for next year. Just like this year, I set a goal to go to the gym and I achieved it. Next year, my goal is going to be to get my license. I'm promising you all, so pressure me in the comments and say, Anita, haven't you gotten your license yet? If I haven't done it, I'll feel bad. So that'll motivate me. Keep pressuring me. If getting my license and living in a small town ends up being more practical, that's how it is for now. Never give up on your dreams if you want to live somewhere. I should never say that, like, as if you should just settle for how things are, because I'm someone who's always tried to get out of my comfort zone and fight for my dreams. I know that one day I might live where I want, but now isn't the time, and I have to accept that. Things are going well for me here because rent is cheap and everything is more affordable in a small town. Now, about job opportunities, which a lot of people ask me about too. Anita, are there job opportunities in the town where you live? Well, in this town, like in all small towns. I'm not discussing my town or where I live since there are many towns here. Don't focus on just one. Because if I say it, a lot of people come and they don't know, and I never talk about the job situation because I haven't experienced it myself. I speak based on the people close to me, the experiences they've had. Yes, you can find work here in a small town, but it's much harder. If you go to a city, it's much easier to find a job. If you live in a small town, have a car and license, many jobs require a driver's license since you need to travel, or the jobs are farther away. That's it. It makes things easier, and I want it. You have to consider the future since you never know what will happen and take things step by step to reach your goals. Although, well, I've only been here for 2 years, I also know that I shouldn't stress myself out or rush. Everything takes time. Everything happens little by little for now. This year, I focused on making this little house feel more like home. Since my plans to move fell through, I'll keep working on it. I'm not just going to leave it as it is. And if one day I move, well, I'll just take my things with me, to avoid that stressful problem of moving. That really stresses me out, having to pack everything up, but I'm also not going to just do nothing, not decorate my house or leave it plain, like in a way that I don't even like. Just because of that, because maybe this year I'll keep living here and maybe by the end of 2025 I might be able to move, I don't know. By the way, I need advice on what to do about the sofa and Phoebe, because I don't know why I thought it was a great idea to buy a light-colored sofa. Like beige, like white. And I have a dog with black fur. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. Well, this is my new corner. Now, I also recorded for you sitting here before I didn't even record sitting on the sofa. I don't know if you noticed because I didn't like that sofa, but now I do. And this is the reality of emigrating. You leave your country with a suitcase full of dreams. In my case, a tiny little suitcase, but with clothes, but with huge dreams. But you never know how things will go in the place where you end up. In the end, we come to an unknown place where we don't really know how things work. We don't know how things will go for us. We don't know anything. We arrive uncertain, but full of dreams and determination. I can assure you that you can achieve your goals, as I've accomplished things I never imagined. I came with a certain mindset, but in the end, I realized that, wow, I can achieve even more. But there are also plans that don't work out. Not everything is beautiful. Not everything is rosy, like my shirt. Life takes many turns, and here you are, far from everything you know, far from your family. I'm speaking in my case, far from friends. You make new friends, you build new things, but it's starting from scratch. It's starting your life from zero. And you're going to stumble, you're going to get frustrated, you're going to feel bad. At some point, you'll think it's not possible or that it wasn't worth it. Are you going to want to go back? I've never wanted to go back, only once, but I go to visit and then I come back here again. But that's how this process is, and I just want to tell you not to give up, because one day you'll feel bad and the next you'll feel good. Just yesterday I felt great, the day before I felt bad. That's how life is, isn't it? I've experienced more emotions in my life since I left Cuba than when I was in Cuba. When I was in Cuba, everything in my life was pretty monotonous because I knew how everything worked. I felt I couldn't achieve anything, so I just settled, hoping to leave someday. But here there are more opportunities, and you know you can accomplish much more. So it's that uncertainty of how do I do it? Can I achieve it? But how do I do it? Or what if I don't make it? You have a good day and realize things work out, even in an unfamiliar country. Over time you learn, since neither of us are the first to go through this. There are millions of people who have emigrated, made their way, moved forward, and achieved their dreams. And well, I'm feeling very motivational today because I have to give myself these motivations every day, because sometimes my work is so lonely, sometimes I just feel bad. I want to make a video for you maybe in the future about my work. It's just that I spend a lot of time alone, and sometimes you need that friendship or encouragement, which I do have. But I don't see them every day, and I spend quite a few days alone. So I need to encourage myself. With this video, I'm encouraging myself and you. So you know you can move forward, anything is possible, and you'll be okay. I don't know if you want me to show you what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. Well, yes, I'm going to show you, and then we'll finish the video, so stay tuned. I hope you really enjoyed this video. Today I wanted to make chickpeas, one of my favorites. First of all, you have to leave them in water so they grow a little and soften. Then I rinse them and we're going to boil them. I added chorizo to it. This was the one I had that I bought at Mercadona. Honestly, I really like the flavor it gives. I added a few pieces because that makes it much tastier. Then I put it in this little pot and leave it there for about, just estimate, I think about 30 minutes or so, and by then it was definitely tender. Let's make the sofrito, which I made just with garlic and onion, olive oil in a pan, and we add all of that to go over there. And that's how our sofrito turns out. Super simple, but it's really delicious. We add the sofrito when the chickpeas are ready, then meanwhile, all of that while the chickpeas are boiling, okay? We add salt, tomato paste, and I also add these seasonings: garlic, onion powder, and pepper. You add things to your taste. I'm adding what I like, and honestly, they turned out delicious. I let it boil a little longer and served myself this plate with some rice, the chickpeas, and a bit of avocado to give it a special touch. I love it, and there's nothing better for the cold that's already here and on a rainy night than eating something warm like this, you know? I don't know, I love it. Let's try it and see how it is. If you notice, I made it with not too many ingredients. I don't usually add a lot of ingredients to my meals, just the basics, garlic, onion, and some of those things. But it turned out really good, not to brag, but it turned out really good. Well, I think today I'm gonna eat on my couch. I usually always eat at the table because I really like eating at the table. I have this habit that I always liked, not eating while watching television. I don't do it. I usually don't do it. I really like eating at the table. But well, today I feel like sitting on my new couch. I already set everything up there to watch television, and honestly, it turned out really delicious. I mean, I didn't even make myself a main dish, like any kind of meat, just rice, chickpeas, avocado. It's perfect, simple, and delicious. I truly hope you really enjoyed this video and that you really like the channel. Give it a like, subscribe to one of these families so the channel keeps growing and you keep supporting me. You helped me so much, you have no idea. I'll see you every Friday in a new video. We're already in December, finishing the year, and there are a lot of special videos coming up. I hope you'll really enjoy them. Sending you a big kiss. Take care. Bye.